Oh my goodness. I'm
Have you
still
got
suffering.
a hangover? Have you got a hangover?
A little bit. Just a little bit. Or maybe it's a lot. But anyway, yes. Wasn't it? It was just so amazing, wasn't it?
It was brilliant, Dee. It was absolutely wonderful. Apart from the fact I could not walk in that ball gown.
No, I know.
It's all right, Nat. We should have
Or
actually
even
had you
get
on
into it. I've been
wheels.
eating so much, trying to get it done up was the anyway.
Oh.
It was brilliant. It was amazing. What a night.
And we miss
thank
Caddy,
you.
but she has her children still to look after.
Yes.
So she's doing good mummy acting, and we appreciate that. So Dee, who is our guest today?
Well, it's this lady that actually was introduced to me a few weeks ago. And she has done so much incredible stuff, including Global Women. We should tell you all about it. And her name is Mirela Sula.
Hi.
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 Hi, Mirela. It's so lovely to see you again. How have you been?
Hi, Dee. So great to be in your show. It has been absolute pleasure to meet you in person just a few weeks ago. I've been following your amazing work, and thank you so much for everything you do. Great to be here.
So I was telling the girls all about you, but I'd love you to say what's been happening with Global Woman, because it's just taken off, hasn't it, for you? Tell us about it.
Thank you so much, Dee. It has been such a journey. It's still a journey because at the end of the day, we know we have goals, we have dreams, we are reaching towards a destination. But when we arrive, we realize that in fact, it's not the destination itself, it's the person you become. And this is how I feel with Global Woman. We started in 2015 with a magazine, which became very popular. And then we turned it into a club. And then we started here in London, and in 1 year we reached 14 countries, and by the end of 2019 we had 27 clubs around the world. So now we have created an amazing community, very global, very diverse, amazing woman, very conscious driven towards success and achievements, but also to contribute to the world.
Fantastic.
I actually saw you speak. I'm sure it was Expo 2019.
Yes,
right? Oh, and you
true,
blew everybody's socks off. You were amazing, and so
thank you.
Not so much inspirational, but motivational. Both. Just really, really powerful.
I
Powerful
appreciate
speech.
that. Thank you, Natalie. Well, I think we all women have something to say, because we have been suppressed for years and decades and centuries, and we didn't use our gifts, we didn't use our voice, and somehow we get surprised when we have the chance to go on stage, we have an audience of people, we're in the right place, a right environment, people who encourage us, yes, you can do it, and then suddenly we realize that, hey, I'm not that bad as I thought to, because we are most of the time in this zone of thinking, I'm not good enough. I'm not sure I can do this. Maybe I should wait. Maybe I should prepare. We have lots of doubting inner voices that are sabotaging us. But hey, with women like you, like Dee, who create platforms, opportunities for women to have that safe place to express themselves, then we suddenly get surprised that, hey, we can do more. So, yeah, I think this is what is happening, seeing lots of women sharing their talents, their gifts. I was, a few weeks ago, I was in a retreat with Deepak Chopra and in Greece. And honestly, I felt like, wow, I needed to be there just to validate my feelings, but also my vision that now it's the time. It never has been a better time ever in the human history than now to be a woman, because we have all come together, we all are building our confidence, we are all contributing, and now more than ever the planet needs the feminine energy. So
because I think it's fantastic what you're doing, because you're doing two things. I can see you're giving inspiration, but you're also giving community. Because I think if we all get together and have a space to speak, that we feel safe, I think that makes a big difference. And I think I spent most of my teenage years and 20s being too scared to say anything. And I think being forced to have to speak, because in the end I became a lecturer, so I was forced, I had to go and I had to speak. And I think you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone to do anything. I think it's fantastic what you're doing, because that's exactly what you're encouraging women to do. And then you know you can do it.
That's so true. To be honest, this is how I feel many times, where I feel I have to push many women to get out of their comfort zone. And maybe you have realized sometimes people see something in you before you see it on yourself. And when you see it, you can't just sit there and say, okay, I'll wait until you see it. No, sometimes I have to to push a little bit too much, but at the end they really are grateful. Many times women come to me and they say, you changed my life, and I don't remember. I said, what did I do? Said, you remember just in this time that we met, and I don't remember at all. I said, I'm sorry, I'm glad you changed your life, but keep going.
Where did it all begin for you?
I moved to London in 2012, about 11 years ago, because I just had a big vision. I was living in Albania before. All my life I've lived there. I grew up in a very small village. I got engaged at the age of 16 and married at the age of 18. And I thought my dreams are done. That's it. I grew up seeing women beaten and abused, and seeing that was normal. That was, and men being very proud, expressing that and showing that. So at some point I realized that this is not right. And I was all the time standing for ending that. This is how everything started. I've been all my life working with women, and I had lots of adversities in the journey. Like I lost my child, I went to depression, and that made me really feel that I have to start searching for the light at the end of the tunnel. So I studied psychology, and I became a psychologist. I became editor-in-chief of Psychologist magazine in Albania. I was teaching at university, and at some point I realized that I've reached everything that I could dream for myself, and I needed to find a bigger seat. And usually I say, if you want to stand for the women in the village, you're okay as a village teacher. This is where my career started. But if you want to stand for something big, you need to find the seat. And I started researching and doing work and preparing myself to become that person that I can lead something better. And that's the reason I left everything behind in 2012. I moved here with my teenager son in a student visa. It was very hard. The first 2-3 years, I was homeless and jobless, but I was enjoying it because it felt like I was preparing. It was like a military training, and I knew that I was preparing for something big. So in 2015, I saw the opportunity. I started the Global Woman magazine. It started with the first club. Many women saw the value, saw the benefits. I remember when I put the very first event, and I said everybody's invited. It was just before Christmas. We sold within 24 hours. We sold out, and it has been an incredible journey. Now, of course, it's the other side. It's a complete different story. I'm much happier. My son is now studying, doing master's degrees in biomedical science. I have my partner who supports me. He's now launching the Global Men's Club, because for years we have just talking about women, but we can't empower ourselves if we don't get men on board, good men. There are lots of good men out there that can contribute. So that's a little story.
Yes, it's a brilliant idea. I mean, I've seen that you work a lot with Tony Robbins.
I have been many times in many of the events that Tony Robbins organizes, because the organizer of the Tony Robbins event, like UPW, Business Mastery, and many other events, is my best friend, and I call her my rich mama. She has broken 2 big myths in my life, because I grew up with this false belief and limited belief that women don't support each other. And another limited belief is like only men can be rich. So when I met this woman, and I met this woman after I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I realized that she was the best friend of this author, and which this book changed my life. I don't know if you read it. And I said, you're my rich mama. And that was the beginning of something, because it really helped me to change my belief, and also sharing that with so many women. We're not that bad.
No, you know, the
we're
thing is
changing it.
that I come from a very different background, and I know Dee does too, of very, very, very strong women, and the men were weak.
That's
And-
interesting. Tell us a
yeah.
little bit more about that.
but so the thing is, so we've always been the powerhouse, the pushers, the people that just keep going. Also, the nurturers, or you know, we've kind of been everything, you know, and the men have just sort of kind of been there.
Not too much.
It's like, you know, I've found that most men really are, you know, they need us so much for everything that we contribute. So I don't know if it's necessarily about women, but it's about this energy that women have within them that they don't allow themselves to have. Whereas it's just an energy. Whereas all the men, and I don't know if it's because Dee and I disempower these men, or that my mother did, or that Dee's mother did, or you know, we are strong women. So your groups to me are just normal.
Paddy has got 7 children, and all of them are classical musicians. I mean, and as Caddy and her husband are. She's a real inspiration.
It's sort of it brings in what I wanted to ask Mirela, actually, because you said about having lost a child, and I think that it's your children who give you strength to have to be strong in a way. And I think if they see mothers as confident and mothers as speaking out, it's really important for daughters and sons. And I wonder if your loss of your child was a driver for you. Did that give you a kind of strength?
Well, that's a very, very good question, because it feels like, yes, that was the drive. That was the drive. It's not that I didn't have the drive before. And sometimes maybe you have realized many people just settle for very little in life until something big, massive happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens for a reason, and something has to trigger us to tell us that, no, you are not meant to be in this world just to sit there and wait for things to happen. We have to do something. So you stimulate, we trigger you, we bring that resilience and that strength in you. And yeah, it's sad when it has to come this way. But yeah, unfortunately, this is what exactly happened to me, because I had dreams, I had a vision. I believed since I was very little that I was meant to do bigger things in life. But when I got married in that small village, I had 11 people in the family, 8 of them men. I had to serve, cook, and clean. A very remote, very isolated. I almost lost faith. I almost lost everything. But when I lost my daughter, I thought I lost myself and I didn't have a purpose to live. But then I realized very soon after I got pregnant again, because, hey, as a village woman, you do not have that space or that knowledge that you have the rights to say, no, I need time and space to grieve. They don't give you that time, and they don't understand why you are not behaving as a spouse, as someone that you have to always know your duties. So yeah, at some point I had to decide what to do. Do I keep living, or do I just end my life? And that was a very, very critical moment of my life. So I never forget, I was sitting under the trees and I was writing a book. I was a writer. At the age of 18, I published the first book. I was a poet. I loved poems. I was an A-star student. I was always outstanding everywhere. But I ended up with this destiny in that village. And I thought, that's it. I have to just accept it. But hey, when this happened and universe bring things for a reason, then I had to take that decision, because I remember myself sitting there and writing the book and crying and crying and crying and writing and crying, because I needed healing and I didn't know where to get that healing help. And as they say later on, I read a sentence saying, it's not the book that you read, it's the book that you write that heals you. And I think writing that book for my daughter, it really saved me. And then being pregnant very soon after, it saved my life. because I got scared and I thought I need to leave for my baby. But if I need to leave for my baby, I have to make sure I provide everything that's needed. So I started reading books and searching for the light at the end of the tunnel, and one book after other, and I'm sitting there under the trees and reading about Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki and Jack Canfield and Les Brown and big names that now I share the stage with. I collaborate with, I work with, I run master classes. They are my colleagues. But at that time, I didn't know any English. I didn't know anything. I was absolutely ignorant in my zone. But my journey has told me that there is no limit what we can achieve. And as human beings, we are the only creatures in this planet that we never reach our maximum potential. And for me, that's the good news, because sometimes when women come to me and they say, oh, I don't know what to do now, what's next? They said, there is no limit. It's always a next chapter. There is always
I think that's
something.
very nice. I think what happens with people is that they don't know what they want. You know, it's like going into Selfridges and thinking, well, I want everything in here, you know, and then you can't do anything. Then you're stuck because you think, do I want a dress? Do I want some makeup? And so you don't, in the end, do anything because you have got such a huge choice. So a lot of this stuff is about sorting out what rocks your boat, what makes you do these things. And I think that's a key for so many people, because they have no idea where they want to go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, first of all, you need to know where you are, because many times I work with women around the world, and many times wherever I go, I sit down and I ask the ladies, what do you want, my darling? And I'm telling you, you're so right. Many times it's incredible how people don't know what they want. And they have lost their direction in life. They have lost their purpose. And we sit down and say, let's figure it out. Just get to know, where are you? Because without knowing where you are, you can't get to know where you want to go. And I worked as a psychologist for years. And at the beginning, I really, really struggled because the women would come, especially when I worked with families. I was also practicing family therapy. And if women would come and cry, I would cry with them. And I would take these emotions with me, and I couldn't sleep. You know what I do now? Wherever I go and I say, we're doing business here, ladies. Let's do business. Tell me, what is the toughest experience that you had to go through in life? And they come sometimes, you don't know what I've been going through in this, and say, no, this is not that bad. This is good. Please remember me. Remember something more, something like really bad, because it's not that bad. This is good stuff.
And
Tell me more. I want more.
I call that the backpack of life. I call it the backpack. So on our backs, we have all of this. This is all the past, all the things we're carrying. What we have to do is put it down by the side and occasionally dip into it. But we should stop carrying it and start freeing ourselves.
Oh yeah, we take a burden that, in fact, it's not a burden. It's not. Sometimes it reminds me of a story when an old man was walking through the beach and having a big burden of sand, and somebody was watching him and said, "Why are you doing this when you have so much sand in the beach?" I said, "Oh, I didn't see that." Then free himself. So sometimes we don't realize that we don't need to take that burden. And of course, we take a luggage with us all the time, and that is a luggage of memories. During this retreat with Deepak Chopra, we talked a lot about karma. What is karma? Karma is the memories we bring from the past, the memories that we bring from our ancestors as well. And these memories, we can reset them. We can absolutely reprogram everything. And every day we have the opportunity to wake up in the morning and be fresh, new brand. We don't need to have that with us.
When I met you and today, I realized that you've got so much to give. And I'm not surprised that you've been so successful and are continuing to do so. You've got the intelligence, the integrity, the know-how, and also the compassion. And I think that is incredible. I think you're an incredible woman. And
that is why she didn't ask me to join you that day, because she wanted you for herself.
I
Oh,
did.
bless.
And
We'll
that
have
is
more
very
opportunities, of course.
annoying, because I was waiting for the call. Come and join us. No, she just rings me and says, I'm pissed and I'm at the Ivy and I'm having a wonderful time. and I was there sitting, waiting to come and meet you. But
No,
I
you
only
said to
live
me-
round the corner. I only
Anyway, we're
live
gonna
round the
cut this
corner from
bit.
you, so I will find you. I will find you.
Debbie really is a great supporter of women, and she's changed so many people's lives, including mine. She really has, and I've got to
We
say
praise
that.
Thank
And
you. We
mine.
praise that.
Yeah,
It's about confidence, isn't it? That's what you have, Debbie.
is.
And I think
It
that's what you're inspiring people with, Mirela, as well.
It's the
It's
same-
Steph's
same
even
thing.
made me change my bras. How about that for influential? My God.
Absolutely. She helped. Yes, she actually lifts you up at the end of a conversation and goes, "Oh,
Literally.
sorry, too low, too low."
Physically. Well,
Yeah.
if
We
your
are going
boots
to
are
cut
down
this
to your
bit out,
knees,
but-
you can't be successful.
Global men. That you're
Yeah.
so it's tonight, isn't it? Your event is tonight.
And I can't wait to have you, Dee,
Thank
at
you.
the event.
Thank you
Oh,
so
we
much.
I've
need-
been invited
Oh,
without
wow,
even telling me. Honestly, we need to have a conversation
you.
when this is over. Lovely
Thank
to meet
You
so
are
much.
all invited, ladies.
Everyone's
Absolutely
invited.
all invited.
Thank you,
Lovely to
darling.
meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Global men
Global men.
on their own. Some
you wanna
lots of
come?
single. Yeah,
All right.
I need a-
You're
I
there,
need a
darling.
global man. Stop laughing. Honestly, you two have got men. I haven't. I'm going to a global man summit. I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Well, I'll tell you something. I think, she's amazing, and so is her partner,
Yeah.
Ian Spears, and because he's helping her launch Global Man. So that's really fantastic. Also, we've been asked to talk on the 25th of November at the Business Centre in Islington for a thing called Pause, and it's all about.
It's not about dog paws.
No, not about dog paws. No, I know you said that to me the other day. You went, paws? Whose paws? Beanies or bunnies? Or... But it's all about the menopause, but also it's perimenopause and postmenopause. And there are workshops. It's going to be amazing. So it's the 25th of November. And it's I think we're talking around about 5 o'clock. And we're talking about finding your tribe. Exactly what you just said, Caddy. So we want everyone to come along to that.
God, are you my tribe?
Who?
You lot.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I think I better find another one. Goodbye. I'm going now. I'm bored.
Okay.
It was a fantastic conversation, and she is wonderful. And she only lives
Yes.
not far from me, actually. She didn't
Yeah.
invite me. Dee didn't invite me. She kept saying to me, I'll call you, I'll call you. She never did. It was ridiculous. And then she was completely.
Yeah, true. We were having
Anyway.
we had a champagne tea at the Ivy.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm
And
And
so
all I
happy.
had was a cup of coffee by myself and the dog. So there you go.
Oh, no.
Anyway, guys, we'll see you next week.
See
See you
next week.
next week.
See you next week. Bye.